It's like a little girl, you know, and that's definitely not something that is sexy in my eyes or a good message to send out to other people who would look up to her.
An unfortunate consequence of spending your days on the beach and your nights out clubbing is that a healthy, balanced diet can go out of the window.
If food is shunted, food isn't important, there is no room for food, there is no thought engaged in food. The problem with that is you are getting your calories from alcohol, but alcohol has very little other nutrition, so you do become malnourished. And that's why if people are abusing alcohol, you often notice their skin, because the nutrients you're missing out are the very ones which are important for looking good.
The world has been shocked by recent pictures of Lindsay's haggard appearance. Her youthful features have been replaced with pumped-up lips, puffy eyes and frown lines, making her look much older than her 23 years.
Lindsay does not look good. She's not thin in a good way. She's actually aged herself remarkably. If you look at her, especially in close-up, she looks to be in her 40s.
An insatiable press interest and severely low BMI means Lindsay ranks at number 2 on our chart. At just over 100 pounds and with a BMI below the healthy average of 18.5, Lindsay's position is worrying evidence of what her lifestyle is doing to her body. Although she distances herself from him, Lindsay's dad Michael has recently admitted that he is worried his daughter might be dead within the year.
She's out photographed every day and night, looking kind of vacant, confused, clutching her BlackBerry where she's always twittering about Samantha Ronson and their latest fight. I mean, it's quite extraordinary how she's still operating, you know, and hasn't been taken off for some kind of intervention. It's just really sad because Lindsay Lohan is just, you know, being destroyed in front of our eyes by herself.
Now it's time to reveal the number 1 skinniest thinny of the year. You may have guessed already that it's the super skinny footballer's wife and fashion icon, Victoria Beckham. In the past 12 months, Victoria's weight has dropped to under 100 pounds and her BMI is drastically low at a reported 15.8.
There's a real sense of déjà vu about this. At the end of the last decade, we were talking about nothing other than Victoria Beckham and her weight. In fact, it was the kind of really the story and the person that started this whole kind of celebrity weight obsession.
The reason that we are fascinated by Posh is because, you know, here was a perfectly ordinary girl, quite attractive but relatively ordinary, you know, big girl band, and then she married David Beckham, and then she spent the next last decade trying to establish a career and getting herself thinner and thinner. And with each step up the career ladder, she's got a bit thinner. With each baby, she's got a bit thinner. And you can almost see the determination in her body, you know, and we're awed by that, I think.
She's shrinking before our very eyes, and I really do think Victoria Beckham is looking the worst she has ever looked before. She is so bony.
Victoria insists she does eat, and the weight drops off her when she's busy working or running around after her kids. Whether we believe this or not, it's the sheer strength of willpower that we find so fascinating.
Victoria Beckham is famous for her ruthless determination and her discipline with regard to eating. And I know there are several people in her life that would probably very much prefer she would put on a few pounds, but she is doggedly determined to stay at this weight.
Victoria Beckham is looking seriously underweight, and it's been reported her BMI could be as low as around 16, and that would be serious cause for concern.
A healthy BMI would be between 18.5 and 25, but at 5'6" and 7 stone, she is nearly 2 stone underweight when compared to the healthy average for her height.
Victoria Beckham is looking possibly the thinnest she's ever looked at the moment. It was interesting because she actually put a few pounds on when she was doing the Armani underwear ads and very famously began exercising for the very first time, and it really paid off. You know, she still looked very thin, but she looked healthy, she looked fit. Now she looks emaciated, she looks bony. There have been several pictures of her taken recently that were nothing less than shocking. Even at London Fashion Week, she was thinner than all of the models virtually. She looks dangerously thin.
Images of Victoria at London Fashion Week dominated newspapers and magazines worldwide about her fragile appearance and skeletal frame as she outskinnied even the supermodels with whom she was rubbing bony shoulders.
Victoria's brand is about selling a lifestyle, and she wants to appeal to the women that have a similar lifestyle to herself. The thing is, you know, she's a celebrity. She wasn't a model. She's half the size of Claudia Schiffer and Naomi Campbell in height and much smaller frame. So, you know, I can understand why she aspires to look like them, but the truth is she never will.
I think Victoria Beckham has made a conscious decision that she would rather look good in clothes than look good naked. I can't imagine what she looks like naked other than a pile of bones, really. But, you know, fashion means a lot to her. Her fashion line means a lot to her. She is determined to look like a catwalk model to and from LAX, and whenever she's photographed, she wants to show off her dresses.
In the world of celebrity skinnies, it's a universal truth that it's impossible to be too rich or too thin. But we have to ask, is it possible to be happy, healthy, and sexy when you are apparently so fixated on your appearance?
The biggest irony of everything is the idea that, you know, skinniness makes you, you know, feel sexy and makes you feel beautiful. Actually, you're probably psychologically exhausted from keeping track of what you're eating, about the anxiety, about comparing yourself. I mean, the self-monitoring that comes with having a body image disorder can be hugely tormenting. It's literally like having a bully sit on your shoulder and constantly criticize you. So, you know, this notion that, you know, a certain weight or a certain look frees us to be happier is the biggest fallacy out there.
The pressure that you put on your body is extreme, and straight away when your body doesn't get enough nutrients, your brain goes into fight or flight mode and it switches off all non-essential functions. And one of the first non-essential functions is sexual desire. So you're not going to feel turned on. Food is pleasure, sex is pleasure, and if you can't receive food as pleasure, you won't be able to be sexually satisfied and receive sexual pleasure as well. My concern for Victoria is, how can you feel sexy and gorgeous as a woman if actually your body is looking like a 12-year-old boy that needs a good Sunday lunch?
Such is the fascination with Victoria Beckham's iron-willed weight management. Extreme Skinny Celebrities has commissioned a body image expert to produce an impression of how Posh Spice might look if she eased up on herself, ate like the rest of us, and tried on for size the shape of the average woman on the street. In the UK, that average 5'4" female weighs in at 142 pounds with vital statistics of 38, 34, 40. With teeny Victoria measuring in at 32, 23, 29, there's a full 3 stone and a jaw-dropping 28-inch difference between the Queen of Thin and the rest of us.
Victoria Beckham curvy is a very interesting concept because we seem to be obsessed with people who are very, very skinny and looking at them and any fluctuations. And if she was curvy, I don't think we'd be as obsessed with her as we are now.
Our Victoria Beckham fixation will probably never be tested while her iron will reigns supreme. But as the vast majority of us see something like this in the mirror, ourselves, we are all intrigued to see how Posh Spice would look if she bulked up to the size of the average woman on the street.
I'd love to see a picture of Victoria Beckham size 14. And the fact how much I'd love to see that makes me realize I'm as sick as everybody else. What would her face look like? We can't imagine how it would be, can you? She cannot remember what it's like to look at herself any bigger than she is now.
So, unable to hide behind the huge dark glasses anymore, Victoria Beckham is exposed as our most famously thin celebrity as the noughties come to a close. What does the future have in store for her and our ultra-skinny lineup? Our interest in them is insatiable, so until the cult of the skinny celebrity wanes, we'll be sticking around to find out.